welcome back to another episode of the Town Explorer. This time we are in the great state of Michigan, and we are in front of the Michigan Chamber of Commerce, which is actually the full state Chamber of Commerce building. It is located here in the capital of Lansing, and we're going to take a tour a little bit on foot, a little bit driving, so stay tuned, buckle your seatbelts, and let's go explore Lansing. All right, so we are on South Walnut Street, heading in toward downtown, and passing the Elliott Larson building here to my left. And yeah, Lansing, obviously, state capital of Michigan, the Great Lakes state. Population, I'll throw up on the screen for you. And we're gonna try and find us a place to park, do a little bit of walking around, but I'm gonna also get you to the state capitol building, which is a short drive away. Looks like there's some pretty churches up ahead, and looks like there is a parking garage over there, and oh, yep, here we go. That was pretty easy. State capitol building to my right. There she is, Michigan State Capitol. I'll pull right over here for a good shot of that. Tell you a little bit about the history of it on the screen. I'll do some research when I get home and edit this video. But yep, there she is, Capitol Complex. A little bit of the skyline to go with it as well for Lansing. And she's pretty. Yep. Not sure when this one was built, when Lansing was named the state capital, but they did a good job preserving it. And I don't know officially if this is the back side or the front side. So if there's a better view on the other side, I will go ahead and grab that on camera for you as well. So stay tuned. Alright, so I got a place to park, and so now I can go ahead and get some footage for you on foot. So here is a look at near the intersection of Grand Avenue and East Michigan here in downtown Lansing. And you know, Lansing is a little rough around the edges, and I mean that literally. So whenever you get off the exit for Lansing, it is a little bit rough, but once you get past that outer shell there, it's really nice down here. A lot of modern amenities, beautiful buildings. It's pretty clean down here. I don't see any issues. There's a Riverfront Park over here I wanted to show you as well. I drove past it and I said, well, let me get parked over here and take a peek at this really quick. Looks like they have a COVID memorial over here. It says, our dead are never dead to us until we have forgotten them. George Eliot. But yeah, there's some art on even just a simple parking garage. Pretty neat. Here's the DoubleTree Hotel. Good look at that. Pretty tall. So I'm sure the higher up you get, the better view of the city. I love those murals over there like they have over there as well. And of course they're doing construction because, you know, in Michigan it's construction season. And over here we have a remembrance memorial dedicated to the courage, strength, and indomitable American spirit of those who perished and those who preserved during the events of September 11, 2001. Lansing remembers. So there is the monument dedicated to the 9/11 fallen heroes and victims of the tragedy. And here is the river, the riverfront, river walk down through here. And it looks like it kind of meanders down through downtown there. It looks like the river walk is more on the other side. There's a pavilion and things over here. It's just a very narrow sidewalk. So keeping that in mind, you'll want to go on the south side of the river if you want to actually walk like that gentleman is over there on that side. And yeah, they got geese down here. Looks like some Canadian geese over here hanging out. There is a footbridge that'll take you across from this side of the street, or the river rather, over to the other side. And it looks like there might be some, maybe like an outdoor convention center or something down there as well. I'll zoom in a little bit for you. Not sure if I'll have a chance to get down there or not, but pretty neat nonetheless. All right, so you know how I am with clocks downtown. If you have been following my videos around, look at that one there, way up there on top of that building. Actually, let me pan it up here. There she is. There's my clock. I love the downtown clocks for some reason. So we got a clock in Lansing. Mission accomplished. And another clock right there, if you want to count that, on that monument of some sort. But I did say earlier in this video when I was coming into town that if there's a better view of the state capitol building, I would show it to you. And I did find out that we are on the back side originally of the capitol building, and this is going to be on the front side, so got to show you that in just a moment. But here's a George E. Palmer historic landmark. There is the Lansing Public Transit. It's called the CATA. CATA.org if you're interested in checking out a bus schedule for them. And then here is your Riverfront District map and directions to the area here and the sites around. This is a city that doesn't get a lot of love as far as vloggers go, tourism and things. And I kind of figured it was going to be an underrated city, and so far I'm right. There is some revitalization going on here downtown to make it nicer. Toledo was a little bit of a surprise. If you want to go back and watch my Toledo video, or if you already have, you can remember Toledo was not really too bad. It was a little bit surprising as far as how pretty the parks were and how modern everything kind of looked down there. Here's a look over the river and the riverfront here downtown. Pretty. They just have, you know, the little things, you know, like the flower planters, and you know, just something that shows a little bit of sign of care for their city. I kind of like that. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I'm going to take you this direction north, and we're going to check out the rest of the state capitol and see what else this town has to offer. Stay tuned. Here's a look at the Lansing Police Department, our main headquarters here, right across from the state capitol building. And we got a plaque up here. It talks a little bit about the history of Lansing, as well as the Lansing City Hall, located right here. And there is the main entrance for it. And there is an outer view of City Hall, Lansing. Let's go over here and read this plaque. Maybe we'll discover a few things about the city and see maybe how it was founded. That is super cool. And this here is named Sundance from the Lansing Scrap Fest. Artist Bob Welton donated to the city of Lansing. So that's pretty cool. And this talks about Lansing and Labor Day. Talking about United Auto Workers Local 182 began recruiting new members from the small auto shops, including Capital City Wrecking Company. Let's see, around 2 a.m. on June 7, 1937. In response to the rest, the union called it. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, so the entire city of Lansing was the first of its kind to represent Lansing. Let's see, Labor Day here in Lansing. So that's something I also did not know. So if you guys enjoy your 3-day weekends here in the States for Labor Day weekend in September, this is where it all began. That is super cool to know. And looks like they have some really, really cool old churches over here. Architecture and stuff on those are something that you wouldn't see today in modern times of construction. Of course, we'll get a little bit closer to the state capitol building here in just a moment, but gotta wait for crosswalk. All right, I made it across the street, and looks like here, reading a little bit of history about the Capitol, it goes on to talk about a rededication in 1992, and then they did a renewal of that dedication in 2016. So nice to see that they are taking very good care of this building from the 1800s. Sure, it is a lot of work to maintain the grounds here, but anyway, enough of the Capitol building. I know that that is the focal point of Lansing, but there is a lot more to the city, and we're going to go discover it together here. Take obviously a couple different streets here just to kind of film around, let you get a feel of the town. I'll share my thoughts and opinions along the way. Just looking back down the street that I came from here earlier, which is called Michigan Avenue. There is that police station and City Hall across the street, looking back at it on Capitol Avenue here. And so I'm going to head westerly here on Capitol, away from Michigan Avenue, and see what we can find. All right, standing in front of the Capitol Bank Tower. It looks like it was completed in 1931, and it was hailed by newspapers and as the tallest building in the state beyond Detroit. All right, so that is it's a 22-story building, and it has an original brass elevator. It's like this is called the Louis over here, kind of a more modern type of building. Now they check here in a bigger city. Not terrible. Not somewhere I would want to go, but we are on the corner of Allegan Street and Washington Square, and it appears Davenport University is located right there. Another college I've actually never heard of. And there is also a plaque here in the center divide that talks a little bit about the history of how Lansing became the capital city. It's like the first capital was completed in Detroit back in 1828, and then it went on to be in Lansing. So that's another interesting fact that I didn't know about. Some original brick streets as well. So that's pretty cool. Nice little view of kind of a old-fashioned shopping district with the old original storefronts and the brick streets to go with it. So I do like that, because you do see a lot of the modern ones, and those are nice too, but it's also really cool to see some of the original architecture of what Lansing looked like back in its heyday, and when, you know, close to when it was founded. You can imagine those brick streets originally probably being dirt, horse and buggies and things like that. So that's pretty cool. But it looks like there's plenty to do along the street. It looks like this is where maybe you would come on a Friday night, Saturday night, hang out. There looks like there's plenty of, there's an Irish pub over here. You have, let's see, a comics and games. You probably play Dungeons and Dragons or something in there. They got a Cottage Inn gourmet pizza. They got Firehouse Subs. I saw Jimmy John's a minute ago. Domino's. But there's also a lot of the privately owned places too, and we'll pass by some of those down there. Your bars and grills and cocktail lounges and things like that. There's some sort of event or something going on down here. I'm not going to bother these people, so I'm not going to go a whole lot further, just to be respectful of whatever it is that they're doing. But I did want to see this building here. It's called the Strand, and I think it was a theater, possibly. Yes, the Strand Theater. It's a 2,000-seat theater. Boasted one of the largest vaudeville stages in the state. All right, there is a look at the Strand Theater in more of a panoramic view. Again, it was opened April of 1921, and it was one of the largest vaudeville stages in the state, and a screen for viewing motion pictures. So, a very historic building there. Looks like they might be opening a restaurant over here. It looks like African cuisine. So, looks like maybe Ethiopian specifically. It is an Afro-Caribbean. Oh, okay, not Ethiopian. I'm sorry. I just couldn't see it from a distance. Afro-Caribbean Lounge. So they are dedicating that and doing like a little ribbon ceremony. So that is super special to have on camera here. I wasn't sure what the event was, and I wanted to look into it before I filmed it, but it looks like everyone else is filming it too, so I would just definitely assume that positive publicity is good for a new business here. So, yeah, and then it looks like Sylvia Sudbury is next door, and have some neat buildings down further down Washington Street here as well. So it's always nice to see new businesses open up, and I wish them full success and wish them the best of luck in their new venture. It's very difficult to run a restaurant in the modern times here, so more power to them. Definitely have more guts than I do at this point. So let's continue on and see what we can find. This one here is called Weston's Kewpie Burger, I think. Established 1923. Looks like it's got a world famous olive burger, so if you're into olives. But I also wanted to feature this Nubian African culture, beauty and fashion shop, which again, we're just a short distance from where that grand opening of that new business for cuisine is. If you wanted to come down further down Washington to the east, you could check out some more culture as far as clothing and other knickknacks and things that you might discover that you like. So I thought I would feature that as well. And yeah, so what do you think of Lansing so far? Comment down below. I think it's underrated in my opinion. I think there's beauty to be seen here. Is it the best city that I've been to? No. I've been to a lot of cities though, so that would have to be pretty high up on the standards there. But wanted to check out this mural here. Right here, this beautiful mural is got a little bit of Lansing. It says, we are here. We obviously checked out the Capitol building, and we basically parked right in there, walked all the way around this vicinity here. So as you can see, it's a much bigger city than what I was able to grab on camera today, and hopefully it helped you change your mind about coming down here. It's not a scary place. Like I said, when you first get off the exit, just keep driving, because a mile or two down the road it opens up to this really wonderful, beautiful city that I feel, is family friendly. And I'm a single woman walking around downtown here. As you can see, there's more, and we're having no issues here. So hopefully I'm able to grab a couple more shots before I leave town. But if not, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and we'll see what else we can find before leaving town.